President Biden is in the land of enchantment right now. He's touting the impact of the Inflation Reduction Act and rallying support for his re-election campaign. This video shows the president stepping off Air Force One and walking onto the tarmac there at Kirtland Air Force Base just about an hour ago after Air Force One landed.
Now, this comes on the heels of the president's announcement to amend the New Mexico Disaster Declaration. Brianna Wilson is here to break down what this means for those specifically impacted by the Cerro Pelado Fire, Brianna, because this wasn't a small fire. I mean, it scorched more than 45,000 acres. It forced a lot of people out of their homes.
Yeah, and this was yet another fire started by the federal government.
Yeah.
So this move by the president is a step toward taking accountability for the devastation in Sandoval County and the Los Alamos communities. Now, it will cover not only fire damage, but damage from straight line winds, flooding, mud flows, and debris flows between April 5th and July 23rd of last year, too. But this does not mean money will go directly to individuals impacted. Now, if you take a look at this map that we want to bring up for you here, created by FEMA last October, the region marked in yellow is only eligible for public assistance and not individual assistance. Now, unlike the areas impacted by the Calf Canyon Hermit's Peak fire, which also started as 2 prescribed burns.
So not individual assistance means it's not going straight to people's pockets or bank accounts. So where is the money going, and then how much are we talking about?
Well, Tessa, FEMA reps tell me that there's not a set dollar amount right now. So they say public assistance is a cost share program where FEMA covers 75% of eligible project costs for restoring roads, bridges, buildings, equipment, utilities, or even life-saving emergency protective measures. And then state or local governments are usually responsible for covering that remaining 25%. But the president says not for these fires. The federal government will pay for all of it, lessening the financial burden for those impacted communities.
Yeah.
Now, some important things to note, though. Again, individuals are not impacted by this decision. Governments will apply for federal money based on their needs and their damage. And FEMA says a lot of recovery projects are already picked and planned out. They also say local governments will be reimbursed for any recovery money that they've already spent. Now, this does not take away from the almost $4 billion available through the Calf Canyon Hermit's Peak Fire Assistance Act.
And so our New Mexico congressional delegation, says this is something, it's promising, but they're still working to try and get more money to actually go to the people impacted by the Cerro Pelado Fire. So where are we on that?
Well, that would require adding new language and more money to that existing act that we were telling about, the Calf Canyon Hermit's Peak Act.
Yeah.
Now, something our state leaders have talked about doing, but that requires congressional approval, and right now there's just no timeline for that.
Like literally an act of Congress is what it would require, and it sounds like they're going to fight for that.
All just talks right now.
Okay, Brianna, thanks so much.